Hello, welcome to Beyond Academy College Planning webinar. Today's topic is tips for picking a major and a college list. And we will provide you an insider's guide. And we will begin shortly after the hour. But in the meantime, you can go to the link in the chat box to download the documents. And that there will be something you probably will need to help your college planning. And we will still have a few minutes before we can start the meeting. While we are waiting, I'm going to play a short video. This video is some activities we have done. Some of our students have been participated in community services during the past year. So we put that together to give you some ideas of what are the additional things, leadership trainings, community development, different summer activities you can be part of with. As many of you know, we help the students and the families to prepare for colleges. And we also partner with nonprofit organizations. With that, we provide platforms and opportunities for our students' leadership development. So with that said, I'll just play the next page. Okay, we'll stop here. So we'll go ahead to start. My name is Dr. Sherry Hu. I'm the Managing Director of Beyond Academy. And today we are going to talk about college planning, and our topic will be how to pick a major and select a college list. And our topic today will be about 1 hour. We'll spend about 35 to 40 minutes to address these two topics. And then Miss Susan and I will address questions. And we have a Q&A in the end, but feel free to write your questions in this Q&A box anytime when you have a question there. And we also have an assistant on the line can help you to address your questions. And with that said, we want to also let you know you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. We send out good educational information throughout the year, and you will always stay on top of those important topics for your family. With that said, we want to let you know a little bit about our Beyond Academy. So we want to help your students to get into the dream colleges. And we have three main things here. First, the important thing is we want to help parents to make sure they know what's the best way to pay for the college and to get the maximized scholarship and financial aid possible. We also want to help students to prepare for the college. We have mentors and we have resources and tools. We provide college admission guidance. We provide information such as today's topic, how to choose a major, choose a college list, what's your plan for SAT, ACT, and do you even need to take those exams anymore, right? And we also provide applications and essay writing, answer all the questions you have during the college preparation process. One of the most important things for the students during the high school years or even early years in college is they want to choose a career that is the best fit for them. There's a lot of things you need to think about, a lot of research, a lot of procedures, guidance you need throughout the process. So we are expert on this topic as well. We have a lot of experts throughout the United States. And actually we even have more. They are not in our list. Every year we grow a little bit. And with that said, we'll give you more introduction about Ms. Susan and myself, since we are the main speakers today. So for myself, since one of the major concerns people have is college becomes really expensive. So as a college funding certified advisor and the college financial planner, one of the biggest problems I'm helping the parents to prepare is we want to prepare early, we want to prepare well, and also we want to make sure we get the most financial aid and the scholarship from the college possible. So those are the things in my top in my mind. And we have helped over 3,000 families as a team in the past 8 years. And there's a lot of top-notch schools. There's also a lot of state schools, not such like a top schools, but it's the right fit for the students. And on average, we saved over $83,000 per family. That's a lot of savings. And for myself, in the past, I've done quite a lot of different jobs. I used to be a professor in University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and also have been the founders of several high-tech startup companies and nonprofit organizations. Currently, I'm also the elected city council member of the town I am in. It's Dublin, California. It's in the suburb of San Francisco Bay Area. And also I have a book published on the college funding. Fortunately, I have won a few best-selling author for this. And I'm also a Rotary Club member trying to just help out the students, families, and the public services. Here I want to introduce my very respect Ms. Susan, and she is an expert in school guidance and college counseling. She has a master's degree of education in counseling and a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing with honors, and over 18 years of experience working with high school students and college students in academic planning, college planning, and career development. She loves working with the students and helping them to find and engage in educational planning opportunities and pathways that engage and inspire goals and aspirations. Extensive experience in college and career planning and AP, IB, technical schools, home schools, summer programs, and she has a lot of experience. And we are very lucky we have her today with us, and you heard from her in a little bit. So I'll continue to do these slides because I want to let you know there's a lot of things to consider during the process to prepare for college. And we talk about, we'll address choose a major and choose a college today. And most parents do not have enough time or do not have experience. A lot of parents told me they did on their own at the time, but it's very stressful. They would like somebody else to take that burden out of their shoulder. They don't have enough time. And also there's a lot of people have a confusion about SAT, ACT, and when, how, what's the best way to do college visits. And also school costs like 100K to 300K per student, right? So there's a lot of cost over there. It's just so important how to make that right, how to get it done by the most efficient way. And also when you do the financial aid forms, there's a FAFSA, CSS, there's a lot of things, a lot of details there. So there's a lot of things involved. I know that that might be the reason, you know, some of the parents, they come to our webinar today is they have a lot of things going on. There's a lot of confusion there. Okay, with that said, I'll get Ms. Susan to talk about how to creating your college list. Susan.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to meet you. I'm hoping to give you some information that will help you demystify the process and be excited about how to create your list. At first, it can be kind of overwhelming, and then the more you learn, the easier it becomes, and we can really help you understand the process more. So what happens is some students come in and they have a really clear idea, and other students just are not sure where to begin. There are so many opportunities for everyone in the United States, and there is a good fit for everyone. So what you want to do in the your ultimate goal is to this is just a map of the United States, and it just it's a little bit out of date, but it shows the multitude of options available to you. So what we're going to do is try to narrow it down a little bit. So the goal is to go into your senior year with a list of colleges that you're really interested in. Try not to get too attached to just one school. Try to have several schools that you're really excited about. You want to have colleges that fit into the REACH, solid, and safety category. So REACH schools are schools that you would love to go to and you're probably qualified for, but what happens is even valedictorians don't get into these schools like Harvard, Stanford, MIT. Now you could be the student that gets in, so just don't hesitate to have some good REACH schools and put your best effort into it. Solid schools are schools that you have a really good chance to get into. And then safety schools are schools that you know you're going to get into. So that creates a balanced list. So then let's think about, where do you begin? Start out, ask your friends and family, ask your parents how they made the decision. Then what you can do is stay in touch with your school guidance office, ask your counselors, try to go to the college fairs that schools provide for you. And also there are things that called search engines. And I don't know if you're familiar with them, but the College Board has one, the Princeton Review has one, and you go into these databases and you put in categories that you're interested in, like how big do you want the school to be? Where would you like the location to be? City, in the country, close to home, far from home, public, private, what majors available, what special programs are available. And you put that information into the database by a series of questions, and they generate a list. And then once you get the list, we can help you go through and determine which ones might be a good fit. Some students have ideas in mind that they're interested in. Again, some just don't know where to begin. The other thing is there are so many special programs. For example, I happen to know quite a bit about health careers because I did have a career as a nurse, and I had the most of my nursing career in the Boston medical community. So there are colleges that you can go to for, say, pre-med, and they kind of segue into a medical school program, and they have the same programs for engineering. Anyway, there's lots of special programs, and we can help you find them. So that's trying to think. Do you have any questions so far?
So if you have questions, you can put it in the Q&A box. And Susan, I know you also talk about students can read a book and to find out good information about the schools.
You know, sometimes it's really refreshing to get off your computer and just have a book. There's a book called The Fisk Guide that's really good. There's the Princeton Review that's really good. What you can do is you can go to your local bookstore, Barnes and Noble, or go to Amazon.com and go to the reference section and see which book appeals to you, because you want a book that's going to grab your attention, that gives you the type of information that you're looking for and that you're going to enjoy reading. The other thing that can be interesting and fun to read are the rankings. Like U.S. News and World Reports puts out a book every year of the rankings, and they list best oceanography programs, best engineering programs, best English literature. And you can go through and it's just fun to read. The more you read, the more you learn, and the clearer everything becomes. And then we will help you sift through and make a really good list that you're excited about and that meets your needs.
Yeah, very good. So I know, Susan, we talk about there's a process and there's the things to consider in order to really understand different schools, what kind of things they offer. So including the size, you want smaller size or large size, private schools or public schools, and the locations. Location is one of the most important considerations people normally have. So I know a lot of people are from California. I'm in California Bay Area. So a lot of people just like to stay in California. And Susan, you are in the like Boston area. So you probably know a lot of students just want to stay in the East Coast. So this is the important to consider. And also how far it is from home. And we talk about there's what kind of majors they offer. If you want to go to medical schools, maybe that school is not offering engineering program, right? So you want to consider those things. And another important thing is how competitive your student is. We just have to see the reality. Maybe a lot of people want to go to Harvard and Stanford, but with the very low acceptance rate, can your student really get a chance to get in, right? So this is a reality as well. So those are the considerations. So I want to also bring to this thing. So stay organized. Susan, I know you and me, we talk about how important to be organized during that process. You want to discuss about this?
Yes, it's really important to keep keep the information organized. It will just make it a lot less stressful for you. And there are organizational tools on the College Board website, on the Common App website. Are you all familiar with the Common App? I'm not, do we want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, please go ahead.
It's jumping ahead a little bit, but The Common App is one application that is accepted by most of the colleges and universities in the United States. So what you do is you fill out this one Common App, you set up an account, and we can send you the link. And then when you apply to a certain school, you push send all my information to University of California, San Diego, Harvard, Rutgers, Vanderbilt, whatever schools you want to send it to. And you'll see the Common App has a really good organizational tool in there where it will generate a list of the schools that you're applying to, where you are in the application process, if you've sent it, if they've received it, and if they have any special requirements. Because some schools want a special essay, an audition, or a special presentation. So the Common App is a really good organizational tool for that. The other thing is you can do is make your own spreadsheet. And I actually have a couple of spreadsheets, Sherry. We can maybe make those available.
Yeah, thank you. So on average, a student will apply to anywhere from 10 to 20 colleges. Mm-hmm. And every college has its own deadlines. So you will find that there's a lot of deadlines there. And there's deadlines for the letter of recommendations. There are deadlines for the applications, deadline for the financial forms. So for every school, there might be 4 or 5 different deadlines. If you don't have a very organized way to handle those things, it can be a lot of mess,
It'll be stressful, right?
No, I know. So this is a critical important. Okay, another thing we want to mention is about college visit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can visit colleges, even if you live in the Bay Area, try to just go visit the schools that are close to you within 20 miles. Because every time you visit a school, you learn so much about special programs, different offerings. You get a chance to compare. You walk around the campus. Is it friendly? Do you feel comfortable there? Are you excited to attend? And every student is so different. What matches one student is completely different than what matches another student. But those tours are amazing. Usually a student will take you around. They take you to a few different buildings. They have a presentation. And what's really interesting also is listening to the questions of the other students on the tour. So that is just really valuable. Some students will apply to schools that are far away and they don't have the ability to visit, but don't worry, what you can do is visit after you're accepted. So what's important is just to go into your local area and get a feel for what's available and what you like.
That's awesome. So just share a little bit about my family experience for the college tour. My daughter, she's a senior in high school, and last summer we did spend 10 days. We went to the East Coast. We actually flew there, and then we borrowed, we rented a car, and then we drove around. Basically, my daughter wants to go to East Coast. She wants to go to very top schools. So we visited all the big name schools, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Georgetown, just you name it, we visited. So I feel a couple of things very important for me is we did want to get on a tour. But last year during the summer, if you remember, a lot of schools, because of the COVID, they were still closed. They didn't have a tour. If you just drove around, or just walk on campus by your own, it's a totally different from you had a tour. You talk to somebody and you really listen to other parents' questions and think about different things. So this is one thing I want to mention to you. Second thing I also want to mention to you is you really need to take good notes, because we spent 10 days, we visited 12 schools, and in the end, I actually forgot which school is in which state. It's like so confusing. And all the schools are beautiful. You know, like this, especially those Ivy League schools, they all look beautiful and very beautiful campuses. It's so hard to us to remember. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's one more thing I want to mention, this map, because I actually spent quite some time a couple of days ago to update the information. So everything is the most updated information. Yeah, that's great. So because I spent time before was So on the left side in the blue fonts there, that's the acceptance rate. As you can see for the top schools, this one only shows you top schools. Every schools have an acceptance rate. So you can kind of say top schools, Harvard like 5%, Stanford 5%, very, very selective. And some schools like UC Berkeley, UCLA, they are pretty good public school as well. And another thing to remember is this is on average. If you are applying for those hot majors like engineering, computer science, this will be much smaller acceptance rate. Okay, another thing I actually spent quite some time to update is the cost, total cost of the school. When we talk about total cost, we're actually including room and board in, of course, tuition, room and board here. So the total cost for the school, for example, for top schools, you can kind of say it's all like 70s, sometimes even 80s, quite expensive. And for in-state, for example, California, UCLA, in-state, it's right now it's like $38,000. And this cost is going up very quickly every year, much quicker than the inflation. Okay, so if your child is still a freshman in high school, there's still like 3-4 years to go. This price, I bet, will go up to like $45,000. So add that into your preparation. And if you are doing out of state, so that's more than in-state cost, of course. So give you some idea. And also that's per year, okay, $80K per year, not for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing about this map is they do provide you an idea about where are the colleges. So totally there's over 5,000 colleges in the country, and half of them, like over 2,000, are accredited. And when they have a dark color here, means there's a lot of schools here. So a lot of school in California, a lot of school in Texas, a lot of school in like the East Coast. So kind of like a lot of school here and there.
And you want to make sure you attend an accredited college.
Yeah.
Because when you start getting into professional programs and you apply for jobs, you're going to want that they're going to ask if your school was accredited, because it shows that they meet the professional standards that the industry wants. It's an important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I also talk with Susan. You talk about be careful of those for-profit schools. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, there was, I'm sure a lot of people have read about, there's a few scandals in the for-profit colleges, and really their motivation was much more about making money than it was meeting the needs of the students, whereas a lot of public universities and private colleges are very student focused. So anyway, that's just a word of caution. That's all I would say. And we can talk about that privately too. You just have to be cautious about that.
Thank you. So let's go ahead to finish this topic. How to begin. Okay, so have you addressed those resources here, Susan?
Oh yeah, these are some, I want to pull that slide up.
Yeah, just some websites we put here for you.
Yes, they're really great. Spend some time exploring on them. The College Board has an amazing career development work site. It has interviews of people in different careers. It has, it gives the outlook for the future, the salaries, competitive job prospects. It's really good. The College Board has done an amazing job with that. They're all three really good websites. Spend some time looking around. Again, see which one you like. It's important to use the one that you like, but also to get some diverse information. So try looking at more than one. And I think you'll find a lot of really helpful information on these.
Yeah, another thing actually we found is really beneficial and efficient way is you really join our program. So we have counselors like Susan and other people to be here for you. So we have a team approach. Everybody who's doing well in that field will be the one to help you out. So there's additional information. There's a lot of information. Susan, this information you put together is about a community college, and there's other
There's a lot of, some students have not, like everyone blossoms at a different time. Some students were distracted in high school. You've all had COVID. There's so many options. So for some students who maybe haven't done that well in high school and they want to engage a little bit more, or really top students who are looking for a bargain, community college is going to be an amazing program. I happen to know someone who initially did not want to go to college, went and became a helicopter mechanic in the Coast Guard and started running on emergency flights, became interested in emergency medicine, went to community college and got 2 years of community college, then went to 4-year college and completed pre-med, went to State University for medical school and ended up at Johns Hopkins for an emergency room medicine internship. So any college that you do well and you work hard, the sky is the limit. You can do anything. So just keep in mind that you don't have to go to Harvard. It's great if you can, but there's lots of options and there's something for everyone, and we can help you find that.
Very good, thank you. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so we kind of put together something you need to consider and the process, how we help you. So we will help you understand your educational goals and help you understand the values, how you decide on which is good for you, and do a lot of self-evaluation so you are clear on your capabilities and your skills and how you can make decisions and gather information whether that school will be best fit for you or not, right? We want to evaluate those situations, and we want to help you to understand there's a different characteristics of the schools, different location, size, big name school or best fit school, what kind of academic environment is there, and the cost and the religion and student life. Consider all those things before you really decide which one you want to apply for. And if you are doing some sports, if you have a specific interest, we want to consider those things as well. And when you do the college visit, there's a planning as well, when it's a good time to go and how to do those things, and what kind of important information and how you contact the campus before you go so you can get to talk to somebody. So there's a lot of planning, a lot of thoughts to get involved before you can decide what to do, how to do it. Okay, with that said, we do want to address another thing is the college major. There's a lot of parents talk to their child, ask their child what do they want to do. They don't know. It's just that so many majors available. I put together, there's a totally 8 categories of careers, and there's a totally more than 1,800 majors in college. As adults, even we don't know which one, is best for our child. How do they know? And I have seen a lot of parents, they ask their children, they worry about those things. But if they don't know, they don't know, right? They have questions like sometimes they say, oh, my child really likes really likes video games. Maybe they can do computer science. But are you sure they play well in video games, they can do computer science? That's a totally different skills, right? And some students like music, but can they really do music as a major? Some like art, and you may know art student like fine art at least do not get a good job in the future, right? So all those things are the things you need to consider. And I really put together, I know we addressed those things yesterday when we had a webinar. And if you have listened, that's great. We'll discuss a little bit more. So different majors have a different salaries and have a different popularity. Some majors just have more people like to do that and more needs. Susan, you want to discuss about this?
Yeah, it's really tough. Some students have a hard time choosing a major, and sometimes the colleges, they understand this, and so they give you time to explore it. And sometimes you don't really have to declare a major till your junior year. Some students major decide to have a double major or a double major and a minor because they have so many interests. But really what you want is something that you like and are interested in, because so many majors can lead to so many opportunities. There's really interesting career development sites that will say, what do I do with a major in computer science? And it will give the jobs of recent graduates in computer science, the jobs of experienced computer science, and their different career pathways. It tells their jobs, and sometimes it gives the contact so you can reach out. The other thing is the college is a whole experience, that you're going to be having your major, but you might be having internships, work, study jobs within your major or your interest areas. And those are going to be building relationships with you that are going to lead to opportunities and jobs. So it's really the whole package. You're going to be meeting people in your department, outside your department. But choosing your major, what I hope for everyone is they have something that really sparks them and gets them interested in loving school and loving learning. I think that's important. And also to be practical and make a living.
That's very important. And also another thing I want to show here is this actually shows you the higher degree you have, more education you have, on average, you actually do make more and have a less chance for unemployment. So this is one thing we always talk to students as well. Try to go to good education and work hard. That will pay in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So I listed some good reasons to choose a major and some wrong reasons here. So some wrong reasons, including my parents asked me to do this. I just have to do. And my friends is doing this, looks cool. And I'm too lazy. I really don't know what to do. I just choose something random. So those are wrong reasons. The right reasons could be, I really love this and I have tried out. And I heard a lot of things about this, and I talked to the people who's doing this. Sounds like it really fit into my personality and my skills. Those are the good reasons. Yeah, this is things we try to do. Before people can really know which is a good major for them, they really need to do a self-evaluation. They need to understand their own interest, and they know their own personalities, right? They are introvert, extrovert, they are realistic or idealistic. They are logical or they are feelers. They are planned, they are structured person, or they are very flexible. These are all different personalities. And what kind of skills they have? They have a people skills, or they have a data skills, or they have we call it things skills. They like to make things, right? They like to manufacture things, operate things. And they also need to know their values, their personal, their family, their community values. And because they want to do something, reflect their values. And also if this can bring economic returns, good income, can make them to be self-sustainable, that will be important too. So I put this graph together. I want to just show you. Sounds complicated, right? Because you want to find something you are really good at. You have that skills and the personalities, and also what you are passionate about, and what can bring your returns. So the three things overlap. That would be somewhere here, and could be good major for you. I know, Susan, you also addressed this.
Yeah, I think this is such a good graph. And the other thing is, just remember you're really at the beginning of your career. And so there are gonna be more and more things that you become good at. You're gonna develop more skills. Your personality is gonna change a little bit as you grow and develop more, and you're challenged. And then you're a little bit of an introvert, but your job demands that you talk to people. You're going to learn and develop new skills, but it is important to sort of know and understand your baseline, because it helps you so much as you face different challenges as they come along. And you're going to learn in college and as you go ahead, in one major connects to another major and you find new passions, but it's just so good to know some of your core things. So there are these assessment tools that we can help you with. Like there's a very widely used career profile, it's called Myers-Briggs Personality Indicator. You take this assessment and it assigns you a 4-letter code. And what's really important when you take these, and this is why it's important to have someone with you, is that it doesn't tell you the gospel truth. Oh, this is the way you are. It's not like that. It's more something to get your wheels turning and what you think about. And, oh, I think that's correct, or I disagree with that. But it just helps you question things and learn and develop more awareness about yourself. It's really good.
That's awesome. Thank you, Susan. So that's one of the example I provide to you. So one of our students came to us at the freshman year and didn't have any idea what she wants to go for. And because she's actually good at everything. She has very good math, very good political science, history, English as well, like A students. So she doesn't want to, she doesn't know what she needs to do. And so we did this career cruising, this career matchmaker, and there's recommendations. I just show you 3 of them. They actually recommended like 20 different things. So this recommendation more like you just start thinking, start this process. So they introduce something new. The student or the parents have never heard about actuary, right? Actuary, you probably know it's a kind of like the finance, doing a little bit analysis and math, a lot of things like that for the insurance company or for the large financial companies. And also there's a lot of lawyer related work, civil litigators, lawyer. There's a lot of more lawyers for this student. And another thing for the tools we have is not only they give you some ideas to think about, they also tell you how to think about those things. For example, just in this tool, you can quickly click on the job and they will have a few people talk about this job for you. This is a real person and who's doing this job. This is a wonderful resource provided hundreds of different jobs that people talk about. What do they like? What do they don't like? What kind of core tasks they need to perform, and what's required attributes and abilities, and what's the work space environment, how much they make, what's the education required, and what's your career path. So just by like spending a few hours, like your afternoon time, you probably can learn 20 different jobs very quickly, to make this problem easier. And also this is not just about you spend one day there. You actually need to spend quite some time. You need to learn the procedures or method. You need to know yourself. You need to know what the process is like, because many students, even after all this process, they may still just get some ideas. They may be still what to say, like maybe kind of like, oh, medical field sounds like interesting to me, so I like medical field. But later on, they still need to decide on they really want to go to what the specialties in the medical field. So we teach you a method and we provide you your resource, and also there's a counselor to help you along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so Susan, you have anything you want to address for the career, for the majors, how you choose those things?
No, I think it's so good. And I think what's so important is that you're beginning this process and you're mindful about it and you're conscientious and you're open-minded in research, because there are so many things that you haven't even thought about that you're going to be exposed to. Like, I thought that was a perfect example of the girl who likes math and the different careers that were open to her. And it's really a path, and you're on the beginning, and you just want to open doors and build your skills and your foundations, and so many opportunities come up.
That's very good. Thank you. So later on, we'll get a chance to read to answer questions. But here we want to let you know. So if you want to know strategies, the resource, and want to get our counselors, our team to help you, And we also know a lot of methodologies, the good ways to pay for college. So those private college, top college sounds really expensive to you before. And after our help, that will become a option for you. So those are the things we actually focused on yesterday, like in yesterday's webinar. Okay. So with that said, we want to let you know we do provide a free consultation that takes about 30 minutes, and we will help you to address your personalized questions. And if you want to make an appointment with us, my assistant, Tom, please send out the link so they can make an appointment with me. They can understand how we can help them, or if they have a personalized question they want to ask us, we can help them in that one-to-one individual settings. And when you have a meeting with us, there's one of the three things normally happening is you can ask questions, your personal questions you want to ask, and you also can let us know whether you feel you need our help, like what are the concerns you have, and we can form a team. We can customize our programs, recommend something. We work together to help your student to get into their dream schools and help your family to handle that. And I actually have a lot of happy parents, happy students here, and let me just play a couple of them so you can get a sense of that. A second, I have to take off my laser pen.
All pretty good schools and offering me a lot of financial aid. It's all thanks to Dr. Sherry and the PALM team for helping us get this far. Really grateful. I want to study aerospace engineering. I've always been interested in flying objects, things like that. So I'm hoping maybe I can study aerospace engineering and later in the future, maybe get a job involving space or something. Yes, like I've gotten my chosen majors in all my schools, so it's really nice.
Good job, William.
Thank
Congratulations. Now let's share the joy with the mom. Annie, how you think about that?
Oh, I think appreciable you guys help. It's a lot of
Happy
help.
parents. Okay, let's go to another one.
All pretty good.
I just put a couple of them here. Actually, we have a lot of students.
It has been a good experience for us working with Beyond Academy and your team. Initially, we signed up for the financial planning package. After working with your team and you, we understood that the value which your team is providing is pretty good, and that's why. And my son also got enrolled in some of the programs which you are offering. Some of your team members really did a great job. They were very responsible, meaning, they were responding, the next day and all to all the questions we had. Felt like you have a really good team which is working, and supporting everyone who, through this college admission.
So very cool. Okay, so those are the just quickly. So we do have different packages. It's a very, very good price, actually very cost effective, and we make that very efficient as well. I've done this for 7-8 years. I really look into this and love to work with parents. You can see Susan and me, we all love to work with the students and the parents. So we make this really effective and efficient process. We help with all the important things you worry about, you're concerned about, like what's the GPA requirement, and how their personalities, skills, interests, how to recommend right majors, how to choose college, and what's the summer program, and how to prepare also excel in actual curriculums, and what to do with a campus visit, and whether they need to do SAT or ACT, and how to plan all those things. And when it's time for the college applications, and our counselors will guide them to make a strategy for early decision, early action, regular decision. There's a lot of things going on, and help them, give them guidance on the IC writing, and help them on the how to get the letter of recommendation. They need to prepare early, right? It's not like the last minute to ask your teacher to write a letter. Your teacher may not remember you anymore, right? So there's so many things you need to plan ahead, to need to do something there, and to do it in the right way. And the counselor will help you review your applications, review your essays. So there's a lot of things prepare for interviews, and what's the best way to make decisions when you are waiting. When it's pending, what are the things you can do? So there's numerous questions here. We address them, and you can ask unlimited questions. There's a lot of things going on here. And we also help with student leadership training and community services. Some people need volunteer hours. We have worked with nonprofit organization. We are very strong in this as well. So we probably talk about college funding, financial aid. There's a lot of forms, FAFSA, CSS. We help them to fill out those forms to get a maximum possible financial aid for your family. So there's a lot of things involved. Okay, so with that said, we want to leave you with this. A goal without a plan is just a wish. And I know most families, they want to help their children get into the dream college, and they also want to have a funding plan so they don't have to jeopardize their retirement. So the goal is the easy part. Executing on the goal is the hard part. And this is where we can come in to help. So we will have the blueprint, and we will be in your team to implement this together. So this is what we want to leave you here. And with that said, Susan and I, we are ready to take questions, and we can help students. If students, you are there, you have questions about major and career, or for parents, any questions, you can put in the Q&A, and we're happy to address your questions. And of course, you can set up a one-to-one meeting with us. We have a 30 minutes free consultation with you, and we can figure out what's the best package that might work for your family, or whatever question you have. So I would look at those. Let me see. We do have a lot of questions. So when should a junior actually fill out the application for schools? So Susan, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, you don't really need to fill out your application in your some schools do want an early application, but it's pretty unusual. What the most important thing in your junior year is to become familiar with the application so that when you're going into your senior year, you're ready to go. But most schools don't have a junior year deadline. What you're going to do is when you decide where to apply, you're going to make a list of all the deadlines and what application plan you want. As Sherry mentioned a little while ago, early action, early decision, regular decision. And you can decide, well, I'm going to apply to these 10 colleges. Here's the deadline for early action. This is when I'm getting all my things in. So I think junior year is just set up your organizational plan, but you don't have to have your application done.
Yeah. So there's a technical question about whether the application only available through College Board.
No, the app actually, you'll notice as you go along that every school has a little bit different process, but it's not, the applications typically don't go through the College Board, they go through the Common App.
Yeah.
The College Board I need to find out about that, because there was a rumor that the College Board was going to buy the Common App because, well, it's complicated, but people are using the College Board testing less and less. But I'm pretty sure the Common App is really the most common application used. And again, as you apply to each college, you'll find the name of the college. What is the application that they want? The Common App. Some schools want their own application, and then you can put that on your list and become familiar with each one.
And also for UC has its separate system for college application, just like you know. So it's a totally different system. All right, let's move on to next question. For California State, schools will, like SAT, let me see how the question is, when senior fill out the application for Okay, so the question is whether the California state schools require SAT or not. That's what I believe, how I read this. So I will address this question. So for most UCs and the Cal State, the SAT or ACT is not required. Okay, it's not required, but that doesn't mean you don't want to take that. Because if you student can get a high score, that will still help you. That's what I believe. You can still offer to them, tell them that.
You know what the other thing is about tests? I mean, personally, I don't really like them, but they're kind of a fact of life. And if you can learn how to take standardized tests, it's a really good life skill, because you might need it for law school. You might decide you want to go to medical school. You might have other professional certifications and qualifications that you need, and a lot of them require a standardized test. So it's a really good thing to know how to do.
And also there's an additional question about whether SAT or ACT only required by the Ivy League schools or private schools. So it depends. A lot of schools require them, private school require them, and public schools still require them. It's optional, like a school by school.
Mm-hmm.
Some colleges do have in-state and out-of-state costs. Are they the same? Okay, I will address this cost problem. So basically, for public schools, there's an in-state or out-of-state cost. If you are in-state, you qualify for in-state, you pay the in-state. If you are not in-state, you have to pay out-of-state if you want to go to that public school. But for private schools, let me tell you, for private schools, no matter you are in-state or out-of-state, it's the same price. It's all very high. But comes why we can help you. Like we normally can help you figure that out. There's either way by financial aid scholarship or by you can save tax, you can pay them more efficiently. There's a cash flow strategy. There's a lot of things we can do. We actually have that. We talk about the whole hour in yesterday's webinar, in Saturday's webinar. If you missed that, you can still find that in our website. It's on demand. You can listen into that webinar anytime.
You know, Sherry, I know this is a little bit, I don't know if this applies to California, but in New England, that's because I'm here. So I'm really familiar with it among other things, but we have something called the New England Regional Board of Higher Education. So if you have a major that you want that is not offered at your state school, so say you want to become, you want to major in oceanography and it's not offered in Massachusetts, you can go to New Hampshire or Maine for a discount. So they have like a reciprocity program.
Yeah, we have something like that too. Yes, we call. I think we go. It's a Western district.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have that too. Okay, that's awesome.
That's another way to save money, but.
All right, so let me see how many questions. We will be able to address all the questions till 5 o'clock. So we'll try to answer all of them. If we cannot get all of them, you can email us or just set up a meeting with us, because we really want to help you. So in these one-to-one meetings, and you can find out more information here. It's better to apply undeclared and then select the major once admitted. How easy it is to get the major that you want?
Do you want me to answer that, Sherry?
Please.
So it depends on the major. Some majors are more difficult to get into, like engineering. In order to get into an engineering major, you usually have to have certain prerequisites like physics, calculus. So it also depends on the school, and every school is a little bit different. So that's one of those things that you have to look at the details of the program that you're applying to. And we can help you do that too. A lot of times, if you get into the college's website, you can see their curriculum clearly. How competitive is that particular major? How easy it is to switch in or out.
Okay.
There's so many questions that people ask. Sort of depends, because there's a lot of variables, but we can usually figure it out pretty easily.
Okay, that's scholarship. I believe SAT, so there's a lot of SAT, ACT questions. So I will just try to cover all of them. So which year in high school student can take SAT, ACT? So you can take it anytime. You can even take when you are in middle schools. But normally we recommend students to do that kind of like early junior year or late sophomore year, and you need to have a plan for that. Normally, student can take more than once, twice, or 3 times. And another question is whether SAT, ACT can help student to get a scholarship. The answer is yes. I think it will help, but it's not the only thing people will consider. Another thing about, let me see. Okay, I think we addressed all the SAT, ACTs. So there's a community college question. So can we transfer from community college after 1 or 2 years and to a UC? So the cost will be only in the 3rd year, 4th year. So I'll answer this cost question. Yes, you can transfer. And then if you go to UC only for 2 years, 3 years, you only need to pay 2 years or 3 years cost. You will save some cost by doing this. But like it's not always easy to make a transfer. You have to meet all the requirements. So it's a very strict requirements when you do the transfer. Okay, so that's question about transfer. And that's a question about, can you briefly cover the Common App? They still have question about Common App. Susan, you can cover.
What you can do is what you can do is go on the Common App website, and you can set up your account pretty soon, and you will start getting emails and information, and just spend a little bit of time exploring on it. One thing you have to make sure that you're going to the proper Common App website, because one year someone set up a dummy site, like anything with technology and the internet, you want to make sure it's the official Common App website. But really the best way to learn about it is to go on and explore a little bit. It's really wonderful and pretty self-explanatory once you get on the website.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a question about FAFSA. So I will address this. Yes, you need to do FAFSA every year, but your first year is most complicated. First, before you do the FAFSA, actually, I hope a few years ahead of time, you have your strategy. It's not just go in there and fill the forms. It's more important to understand how they use their numbers, how you do it in such a way that can bring you maximum financial aid and scholarship opportunities. And we are the expert on this. We actually help you. Even for students in middle schools, we can help you to plan on this. Okay, the earlier the better, but don't wait till the last minute. There's another question, Susan, this is for you. They talk about, do you have any resources or any comments, advice on the school board? On the schools abroad, going to schools internationally.
Yeah, there's amazing opportunities. There's a really good resource called QS Rankings, Q as in quick, S as in Sam, rankings. And it gives a lot of information on international colleges. And I do have some experience with that because I worked in an international school for a couple of years as a school counselor. And we sent a lot of students to Great Britain and to different schools in Spain, Great Britain, France, Germany. So I do know a little bit about them.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So there's we can only answer the last question. Sorry if we don't cover everything. So there's a question about, do you help students in freshman? Yes, it's not too early. The early, the better. And we have a structure. We do workshops. We address all the topics you need to prepare during the high school years. And we lead students through the way. So you want to do early. Okay, it's better to join our program. We actually calculated, if you join early, it's actually only like $80 per month, something like that. Although we do ask for some deposit, different things like that. And then you join the program and student will be better, you will be less stressful, and in the future you get more financial aid and scholarship and also do your funding right. So it's like a win-win-win situation for your family.
And a happy student.
Happy student, happy parents, right? Happy parents.
About their future and feeling good about school and learning the skills that they need to succeed.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
So with that said, we will just send out the so Tom, can you send out the appointment the last time? Then we have to close today's meeting because we do have a back-to-back plan for other things going on. And I thank everybody here. If you are already our students in our program, so for today's webinar, if you listen to everything, we want you to do some research and send out to your counselor about like a majors you are interested. You have done the research and you want to discuss about one is for major and one is for the college. We want you to bring at least the 3 majors you have done research on, you think about those things, and the 3 schools you think you might be interested. Okay, and we want you to write something, do research, write something down, and send an email to your personal counselors and to ask them guidance. That's homework for students who's already in our program. Okay, with that said, thank you so much, Susan, and
Thank
we
you
learned
so
so
much.
much.
Have a
Thank you so
great
much from you. All right,
Okay,
bye-bye. Thank you.
thanks.